How startup fundraising actually works from someone in the room. My name is Francis, I'm a startup founder here in San Francisco, and the wild thing about being here is that the person sitting next to you at a coffee shop has probably raised millions of dollars for a company that didn't exist 18 months ago. I spent the last while talking to a lot of these people, founders who've raised once, twice, 3 times. And I started noticing something. They don't talk about fundraising the way the internet talks about it. So in this video, I want to give you the real version. If you're running a startup and you're going to raise money, here's what you actually need to know. No fluff and no guru stuff. Just how the system works and what would I tell a friend. So let's get into it. What fundraising actually is. First, let's clear up what raising money even means, because most people get this wrong. When you raise capital, you aren't borrowing money. You're not getting a loan you pay back with interest. You're selling a piece of your company. An investor gives you money and in exchange they own a small slice of the business. If the company becomes worth a lot someday, their slice becomes worth a lot. But if it dies, they lose everything they put in. And that's the deal. Basically, they making a bet on you. And here's the part people don't internalize. Investors are not looking for a safe, reasonable business. They're looking for the one company out of 100 that could become enormous. This is called the power law, and it runs everything in venture capital. And here's why that matters. A venture fund makes a lot of bets knowing most of them will fail or just trickle along. They're hunting for the rare one that returns the entire fund several times over. So when you pitch, you're not trying to prove this is a solid little business. You're trying to show this could be huge. Those are completely different stories, and if you tell the first one to a venture investor, you've already lost them. So before anything else, ask yourself honestly, is my company the kind of thing that could get really, really big? Because that's the only question the money is actually asking. And if you really want to get big, let's discuss the stages and where you actually are. Okay, so you hear all the words like pre-seed, seed, series A thrown around, and it sounds more complicated than it is. But think of it like a fuel for different parts of the journey. Pre-seed is the very beginning. You might have an idea, maybe a prototype, maybe just you and a co-founder and a strong conviction. The money here is small, and it usually comes from people betting almost entirely on you as a person and a founder. The point of this money is simple: build something real and prove a tiny piece of the idea works. Seed rounds comes when you've got a product that exists and some early signal that people want it. Maybe a few customers, maybe some usage, something that's alive. The point of seed money is to find what people call product market fit. That's just a fancy way of saying people want this so badly that they keep coming back and you can't make it fast enough. So the seed round buys you the time to find that. Series A round and beyond come later, when you found that fit and now you're pouring fuel on a fire that's already burning. And that's for a totally different video. My guess that most of you watching me right now are at pre-seed or seed stage. And here the honest truth about this stage. You have almost no numbers to show, which means that the investment is mostly about the team, the size of the opportunity, and whether you can tell a story that makes someone believe. At this stage, you as a founder, your idea are the product they're buying. And the thing that nobody tells you right now, that it's mostly about the trust. Let me tell you the single biggest thing I've picked up from people here. Fundraising is not a pitch, it's a relationship. The founders I saw here in San Francisco who raise easily are almost never the ones with the prettiest deck. They're the ones investors already trust before the meeting ever happens. And that trust gets built long before you need the money. And here's what I mean. The worst time to meet an investor is when you're desperate and asking for a check. The best time is 6 months earlier, when you want nothing, when you just update them. Hey, we've shipped this, we learned that, and here's where we're going. No ask, just showing them the development of your product and that you do what you say you'll do. Because most of the time, investors aren't really evaluating your idea in one meeting. Because ideas change. At your early stage, what they're evaluating is, can this person execute, and will they actually keep going when it gets hard? The only way to show that is over time. So the practical move is this. Start building those relationships now before you raise. Send short updates to people you would want money from. Be the founder who said, I will have this done by Friday, and then had it done by Friday. That consistency is worth more than any slide. And one more thing on trust. Investors talk to each other constantly. This is a very small world, especially here in San Francisco. If one respected person vouches for you, doors open that you didn't even knock on. A warm introduction from someone they trust is worth 10 cold emails. So your real job is to earn the trust of people who already trust it. And if you got this part covered, it's time for you to understand what they actually judging. Alright, so when you do get in the room, what are they actually looking at? Let me break down the few things that generally matter at the early stage. First of all, the team. This is number one by a mile. They want to know why you. Why are you the right people to build that specific thing? If you got some unfair advantage, let's say you've lived this problem, you have rare skill, you understand this market better than anyone, lead with that. They're betting on the rider, not just the horse. Secondly, the market. Is this a big enough pond? Remember the power law. If your idea only ever be a small business, even if it's a good one, most venture investors will pass. They need to believe the ceiling is enormous. So you have to show that the opportunity is generally large, not niche. And the third one is the problem. Are you solving something people actually care about? The best startups solve a problem that's painful, frequent, and currently handled badly. If people are already hacking together ugly solutions because nothing good exists, that's a great sign for you. That's a real itch that needs scratching. Next thing is traction, if you have any. This just means evidence that you're onto something. Customers, users, growth, sign letters of intent, anything that shows the dog is eating the dog food. At pre-seed you might have almost none, and that's okay. But even a little real signal beats a beautiful story with nothing behind it. Next important thing is, how good of communicator are you? Can you explain a complicated thing simply? Can you make someone feel the opportunity? This matters because if you can't get an investor excited, they will assume you can't get customers or employees excited either. Clarity is a signal of how you think. If you nail this, the pitch deck almost writes itself. Because the deck is just the container. These 5 things are the substance. Okay, and right now when we got through this, let me give you the tactical stuff. The thing I would say over coffee if you told me you were about to raise. Number 1, raise when you have momentum, not when you're out of money. Investors can smell desperation. The best time to raise is when things are going well and you don't strictly need it. Fundraise from a position of strength always. Number 2. Run it like a process, not a series of random meetings. Don't take one meeting, wait, then take another. Cluster them together. Talk to a lot of people in a tight window. This creates competition and urgency. And it means if someone says yes, you have others moving at the same time. A deadline and a little fear of missing out does more than any argument. Number 3. Know your numbers to every detail. How much you're raising, what will you spend it on, how long will it last, and what will you have proven by the end of it. If investor asks you why this amount and you fumble, that's a red flag to them. Have a clear, honest answer. Number 4, get to your point fast. Investors hear pitches all day. In the first 2 minutes, they should understand what you do, who is it for, and why it could be big. Don't waste their time with a 10-minute backstory. At first hook them and then go deeper. Number 5, treat every no as information and lesson, not rejection. Believe me, you will hear no a lot. Everyone does, even from the greatest companies in the history. Actual skill is to ask why, listen, and notice patterns. If 5 people pass for the same reason, that reason is real and you need to fix it. The no's are tuning your story. Number 6, pick the right investors, not just any investor. Good investors bring more than just money. They bring introductions, advice, and credibility. A check from someone who can open doors is worth far more than the same check from someone who can't. You're choosing a partner for the next several years, so choose wisely. And if you got all this covered, let's talk about mindset. This is the last thing and maybe the most important. Believe me, fundraising will mess with your head if you let it. You will get rejected by so many people who just don't get it. You will watch worse companies raise more money faster than you. At some moment, you will start questioning yourself. And here's the reframe I've heard from multiple people who've done this multiple times. You're not begging for money. You're offering someone the chance to be a part of something. The best founders walk into the room as equals. Not arrogant, but not small either. You have something valuable, they have capital, both of you are seeing if there's a fit. And remember, you only need a few yeses. You can get 99 no's and 1 yes, and that 1 yes is all it takes. So the whole game is just staying in the game long enough to find the people who see what you see. So yeah, that's the honest version of what I hear from people here in San Francisco from startup world. Fundraising isn't magic and it isn't luck. It's understanding that you're selling a piece of a potentially huge thing, building real trust over time, nailing the few things that actually matter, and running a tight process when the time comes. And if you got value out of this, the best thing you can do is start now. Pick one investor you admire who works with your stage and send them a short update this week. No ask, just start the relationship. And I will keep sharing what I'm learning along my journey here. So if this one was useful, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one.